And we are back. This is probably one of my favorite sessions because we're going to talk a lot about the big things. We've talked about how do you create a better relationship with food. Then before that, we talked a little bit more about creating some principles and ideas around how do you want to get better with your nutrition. I even shared a little bit about proteins and carbs and fats and why those are so important. But now we're going to dive into the real stuff. How do you navigate nutrition in your daily life? What are some tips? What are some tricks? What are some tools? What are some resources? This is what this one is all about. To do a quick recap, first and foremost, one of the most important things that I want you to remember when it comes to your food is that food is fuel, all right? The food that you have, the food on your plate, the food that you cook, all of that matters. And your food should be aligned with your goals and should be aligned with who you want to become, not with who you are right now in this moment. That's one of the biggest challenges I see a lot of people face when it comes to food. It feels like a struggle and a challenge because you're eating for the person that you want to become, but you're not ready to make that shift of becoming that person. That's some tough love there. So this is what we want to focus on. How do you move to that space of getting better with your nutrition, but still being able to live your life and do all these things? Only 8% of people can cut something out cold turkey. Only 8% of the entire population. The other 92%, myself included, need more kind of steps, baby steps, some opportunities to learn and to navigate what that looks like. So, first, when it comes to your meals, creating that balance is going to be important. So when you're going out to restaurants or when you are, wanting to have an opportunity just to be with some friends and not really wanting to think or worry about that, still lean into those ideas, those principles, and those values of keeping your plates PG, eating the rainbow, remembering food is fuel. But another principle that I tend to live by, and this is probably my ultimate principle, because I find that when I am too strict on myself, then eventually I just break down and end up in my freezer eating, a whole thing of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, which is not conducive for what I need right now. So one of my principles that I live by is 80% of the time I am going to fuel my body. 20% of the time, I'm nourishing my soul. That means I've already established that there are going to be some meals that aren't going to be perfectly balanced with nutrition. There are going to be some meals that are full of sugar and full of, some of the things that aren't as healthy for me. And I give myself permission to make that okay. Because if I just take 20% of my meals over the course of my life that are a bit more indulgent in nature, you know what? I'm gonna be okay with that. Because I know that the 80% of the time that I'm eating and fueling my body, it's on point, it's balanced, it has proteins, it has fats, it has carbs. I have tons of greens and fiber and all these things going into my body that the occasional night out with girlfriends and eating a chocolate lava cake and having maybe 2 or 3 glasses of wine isn't going to deter my results. And it's not going to put me in a place where I don't feel like my best. I'll share this with you because at this point now we're friends, we're family. My story really comes from dealing with and battling and what I feel is overcoming 20 plus years of severe depression and anxiety. And in my journey of health and recovery and learning, as I realized that the food that I was eating was a big contributor to how I was feeling. The preservatives, the junk, the salt, the sugar, all of that stuff played into my mental state, my mental capacity. I had the brain fog, I had the unstable emotions, I had a lot of different just things going on in my body. I was very triggered and inflammation was everywhere. And it was really, really tough. And after my second failed suicide attempt, I started noticing that I was feeling even worse than I had ever in my life. And I went to a holistic doctor and he looked me square in the eye and he said, Allison, if you don't start taking care of your body, if you don't start taking care of yourself right now, your body's gonna shut down on you. That was my eye-opening moment. that's when I knew that taking care of my body was more than just going to my therapist and all that other stuff. It also had to do with what I put into my body and the food. But here's the thing, I love food. I love like sweets, I love burgers, I love pizza, I love all of that stuff. And so the thought of me like not having it just didn't seem like a life that I wanted to be a part of. So I had to start creating boundaries and starting to create some things I could live with. And that's where that 80%, 20% really worked for me. Because I knew that I could eventually have those things that I enjoy, but I wouldn't eat them all the time. They were no longer the base of my nutrition. They were no longer the staples. Slowly but surely, I started going to eating healthier, eating more plant-based options, and finding joy in that space. And then whenever I did feel the urge, I could have that burger, I could have that pizza, I could have that ice cream, I could have those things, and it not really wreck my whole state, because that literally was a drop in the bucket. So you want to think about how do we get there? How do we kind of create that space? So I'm going to share with you some tips and some things that have really worked for me that I share with my clients, and hopefully they'll work for you. For those of you who are struggling to get vegetables into your diet, keeping your meals PG, protein and greens, protein and veggies, maybe you only like a handful of vegetables. Well, the first thing is every single Monday, commit to a Meatless Monday. What that means is on Mondays, you don't eat any meat at all. If you want to start with eating just no meat and doing some like animal products like dairy and cheese, that's fine. But the idea here is that your meals, the basis of it is not going to have animal protein in it. So that's going to allow you to start to explore ways to get your protein in and experiment with new vegetables on your plate. Now, this doesn't mean that because you're taking away the meat that all you eat is potatoes and like heavy starchy stuff. No, it's creating colorful, beautiful meals. And an easy way to do for your Meatless Mondays is utilize the power of the internet. Go onto Pinterest, go onto Google, go onto Instagram, go onto YouTube. Start to find recipes that you want to try. And then once a week, you try a new plant-based recipe. And if you're already plant-based, go further, mix it up, shake things up a bit. That's a real easy thing that you can do, and it really starts to help you to build a better foundation of your nutrition. Committing to a Meatless Monday is huge, and also it does do some good for the environment, which is, our environment probably really needs it right about now. So that's your one thing that you can do, one idea. The second thing is, if you're struggling to get your healthy foods in, snacking. A lot of people are like, oh, if I could get my snacking under control, I would be great. I would be fine. Well, here's the thing. Snacking is great. Snacking does wonders for you for a couple of different reasons. One, it keeps your blood sugar balanced. So a lot of times when you feel your body and you feel your energy going up and down, your emotions are up and down, you're groggy, you have the brain fog, or you find yourself like overeating at your meals, chances are you've gone too long without eating. And so when you have a snack in between your meals, it helps to keep you balanced. Remember, your body wants to be in balance. That's the beautiful thing about the body. It's always trying to find that. And cognitively, we just kind of mess it all up. So snacks can be a great way. And you can use healthy snack options. Some of my favorite snack options are fruit and like almond butter, fruits and almonds, like having something sweet, something salty, something with carbs and fiber, and something with some fats and a little bit of protein. So that's a good thing. You could do hummus and veggies. You could do, Greek yogurt with berries. You could, with a little bit of granola. You can make a green smoothie. You can do, take a sprouted whole grain bread and put some peanut butter and jelly on it, and there you have a little snack. And if you're looking at the clean eating guide I provided, there are also some snacks in there that you can use as well. But if you make your snacks really healthy, at least you're starting to get in some healthier things into your body in between the meals. And it also helps you with your portion control, because now you're not as hungry when you get to your meals. So that's another thing to think about, is focus on healthy snacks. So we've covered a Meatless Monday approach, healthy snacks, and also that means not eating stuff that's packaged. The only snacks you have are whole foods, real foods that your body can recognize. So put the bars away, the candy bars, the cookies, and focus on real whole foods as your snack. And you can eat more typically because they are lower in calorie, higher in nutrition, which is always a good thing. So those are two options you can do there. Another option you can do as well is focusing on taking the meal of the day that really is a struggle for you. So whatever that meal is, if you have a meal, let's say for example, lunch is just really hard for you, or breakfast is really tough because you're rushing in the morning, you can plan better for it. And so typically what I will recommend to someone is, one, you can meal prep your breakfast. So you can do overnight oats, which is also in the clean eating guide, a really great tool that you can use that can help you. You can make overnight oats the night before and it's ready to go in the morning. You can make up to 3 or 4 at a time, so you don't have to worry about making your breakfast. You grab it, take it with you, and you're good. You put some fruit, you put some nut butter. It's complete, it's balanced with protein, fats, and carbs. You're good to go. Another option is green smoothies. I'm a big fan of smoothies. I actually drink 1 smoothie a day, mainly because it's where I know for sure I'm getting the best nutrition into my body. And what I mean by that is your smoothies aren't just, blended fruit salads. Because a lot of times when you go to the stores, you go to the juice bars, there's so much sugar and so much stuff put into those smoothies. They're not really healthy for you at all. They just spike your blood sugar and you're hungry again in about an hour, hour and a half max. So instead, a couple of options. First thing you do to make the best smoothie of your life, you're gonna take about 8 to 12 ounces of liquid. It can be water, it can be coconut water, it can be almond milk, soy milk, regular milk, whatever it is. Put that in the blender. Then you're gonna take your greens, whether it's spinach, kale, any type of green mix. I put about 1 to 2 big handfuls into that mixer. Blend it up first, just greens and liquid, all right? You wanna get the greens as blended as possible, just like breaking it all up. Easy, easy, easy. From there, once you have your liquid and your greens blended perfectly, you're gonna add a cup's worth of fruit. It doesn't matter what fruit you add, but only 1 cup. 1 cup of fruit, that's it. I see people making smoothies, they put a cup of pineapple, a cup of banana, a cup of strawberries. That is so much sugar in one sitting. Not saying that you can't eat fruit and that fruit's bad for you. That's not what I'm saying. But the problem is when you put so much in that one meal that you've pretty much maxed out your sugar intake for the day. And then what happens, you think, well, I ate healthy I had a smoothie for breakfast, so now I can eat whatever I want. Then you're getting more sugar, more carbs from other things throughout the day. So now that's where we see a lot of people struggling with carbs and sugar, is because they're not watching their portions. So you have your greens and your liquid. You add a cup of your fruit, whatever it is. From there, the next thing you want to add is some type of fat. We want to make a full service smoothie, one that's going to keep you full and really fired up. And fat to your smoothies is the best way to keep you fuller longer. You can add 1/4 of an avocado. You can add a tablespoon of peanut butter or almond butter. You can add some coconut oil. You can add hemp seeds, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, any type of fat-focused food that's healthy. Go ahead and put that in your smoothie. It's going to thicken it up. It's going to make it more dense. And then you add some ice. Blend all of that up. Your greens and liquid that are already been blended, cup of fruit. Then you want to add some type of fat and some ice. If you want to create more oomph to it, add some ginger, add some cinnamon, add some vanilla. Just add something to it, and there you go. So those are 3 ways you can ensure that you're getting in some good food into your body as the days progress, and build upon that. And you can even start with one of these 3 tips and start to build, but if you even just do those 3 things coupled with what we talked about in the last session around creating balance with proteins, fats, carbs in your diet, already right there, you have such a firm foundation that now you're going to be able to know what's working for you and what's not working for you, and giving you some really good ideas. When you go out to dinner, same thing. Look at the menu. Focus on grilled stuff, roasted things. Try to stay away from the deep fried, battered, cheesy, creamy things, because typically those are so overloaded with sodium and preservatives and carbs that they're gonna make you feel that great. And if you really want that taste, either make it at home. That's what I typically do. If I know I want something that's all that, then I can at least control what's going in it. I'll find a recipe, I'll make it, maybe try to make it a little bit healthier, but at least I'm in control of my food. When in doubt, you can always just get a grilled piece of something, whether it's chicken, fish, steak, get some really nice roasted steamed vegetables, a little bit of carbs on the side, and you're good to go. But you're like, Allison, what if I go to my favorite restaurant? I'm not going to forgo my favorite stuff. You don't have to. Because my guess is you're not going to be going to your favorite restaurant every single day. You just plan it out. So if you know on Friday you're going to your favorite restaurant that has the best lobster mac and cheese and the best, key lime pie and your favorite cocktail, then plan accordingly. If you know that's coming up on Friday, then do your best to stay in that 80% of fueling your body throughout the week. So when Friday comes, you are not only ready for that meal, but you can savor and indulge every single moment. Because after that meal is over, you go back to how you've been eating normally. And this also, since we're in this space right now, let go of this idea of cheat meals. It literally is such a negative, toxic way to think about food. You're not cheating when you eat food. You're indulging in it. Food is amazing. It's fuel. It's there to give you life and energy. So you don't need to be sneaking around eating food or feeling bad for it. It's just making a conscious effort and saying, okay, I'm gonna indulge in this meal, or I'm gonna do this thing and be intentional about it and own it. And then do your best to make sure that the meals leading up to it are gonna support you, and the meals after are gonna support you. That's why I love my green smoothies, because on the weekends, when I know things are a little bit more lax in my life, I typically always have a green smoothie the first thing in the morning. So that way when I go to brunch later with friends, or if I know I'm gonna order pizza and just hang out all day on the couch, okay, here's a good thing. I've already gotten a lot of nutrients into my body. It's about being mindful. That's the biggest part. Snacking, eating out, choosing meals when you're busy. What happens is we're not being mindful. We lose the intentionality of our food, and we start to go with the path of least resistance, which is ordering your favorite go-to pizza or Asian takeout spot. It means grabbing the quick cooked dinners that are high in sodium and preservatives, or it means not eating anything at all, or grabbing whatever is available, like cookies or chips or whatever, just to get through the day. The bigger picture here is being intentional and mindful, challenging yourself to start making small changes to your behavior that become habits over time, because those small changes build into habits, and habits create results. Hopefully you found this series helpful to navigate through as you're thinking about your nutrition. Check out the Clean Eating Guide. Take a look at what's in there. Get some ideas around food, around how to create balance, some new recipes. Utilize YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, cookbooks to find some things that will really help you. And then ultimately, if anything else, just remember that food is fuel. And in order to get to where you want to be and to get to that new way of eating and that new enlightenment around nutrition, it's focusing on where you want to go, who you want to become, and creating principles that are going to be easy for you to live by. As I mentioned, my principles are: eat the colors of the rainbow, keep your meals PG, 80% fuel the body, 20% nourish the soul, and it's not a cheat meal, it's an indulgence. Final one, mindfulness is key when it comes to food. Those are my principles. Feel free to use them, live by them, create your own, revamp them. But at the end of the day, what I want you to remember is that you are in control of your food. You're in control of your body, and you don't have to be nervous or frustrated or confused by what's going on in the news, in the media, in social media when it comes to food, because you have the tools. They're all here, and they're here. You just have to take some time to listen, to reconnect. And if you have any questions, I'm always at your service to help you to navigate through your nutrition. So thank you so much for being part of this journey with me over these sessions, and good luck, have fun, bon appetit.